This podcast is brought to you by Infinite Resources, a local staffing agency connecting diverse job candidates in central Iowa companies.
Amplified.
So GETITWRIGHT Fitness. So Jeremiah Wright, GETITWRIGHT Fitness. So this podcast is going to be about fitness, nutrition, mindset, goals, all that stuff. I work with you. You work with me. We work together. We work out.
Yeah.
And I get up at 5:40 in the morning, and I go work out with you. Oh, I just had a burrito though. So that makes me a bad. That makes me a bad disciple, doesn't it?
You can have a burrito, man.
Huh?
Get you a burrito.
I can have a burrito, right? Sometimes I come to you and I tell you like all the food that I've had, and I can see your face of disappointment as I go down the list of food that I've had. I'm like, so you work out with people personally at your gym. You go to their house. You do, corporate workout. So this should be a fun conversation. But typically, like, what kind of people are you seeing come through and like come to you, and like this is the tough season that there is, because like holidays and food and it's cold, nobody wants to go out. So what is it like for you right now that the season is here and people are putting on some winter weight?
Yeah, definitely. First, thanks for having me. And I think a lot of people begin to think about, making goals now. So I'm getting a lot of people reaching out through phone calls or emails and seeing, hey, what am I going to do as January takes off, and stuff like that. So, yeah, it can be challenging to get started when it's winter months, especially because we have such a long winter in Iowa and it's ups and downs. So I think a lot of, you probably have, days I feel like doing it, and other days I feel like staying in and eating a burrito. So
Are you one of those trainers that like goes and slaps the food out of people like, you got
No.
But mindset, it is important, right? Like, there is this thing that being physically healthy, it's about, first you got to be in the right mindset, right? And if you're not there, do you kick people out? You're like, you're not here, you're not ready, get out of my gym.
You're not ready to take this on to the master. No, I think maybe only one guy had to do that too because his attitude was so bad. But
too bad.
No, but I think everybody, you just got to learn how to meet people where they're at. Personal training, it kind of makes me a chameleon. So you just got to meet people where they're at, and then also be willing to learn and say, hey, how do I address this situation? Because one thing about the fitness business and personal training, it kind of pushes you right into leadership. So you're like, okay, what can I do to help this individual be the best individual they could be? Not only just physically, but obviously mentally, because you're going to take that into other aspects of your life too as well. So I think it shows up physically because you have that discipline where you're training yourself, because only you can do that, right? And it's when you compare it to life, you're like, only you can live your life, and the workout's pretty much the same. So I always say working out's one of the best metaphors for life, because only you can do it. You can have a coach, you can have somebody encourage you, can have somebody show you how to do it and give you the information, but execution, that's on you.
Yeah. You see a lot of people quitting then, right? Like you see people that come and then they let me rewind. So you are kind of a therapist too. You like you when we're working out, you get the conversation going. And is that part of your like approach to how you train? Like, what's your philosophy, I guess?
My philosophy is having a no excuse mindset. No excuse is more stronger than what I want to do for myself, my vision for myself. So that's my philosophy. And therapist, coach, everybody has a lot going on. So the people are real people. You know, it's just not, oh, you can't do this, you can't work out, you can't. People have real struggles. They have real challenges. So, you know, you'd be foolish not to try to address them or help them with that. Like if somebody, oh, you know, you can do it. Hey, no excuse mindset, but you know, you can barely. You got one leg. You know, I've trained a lady that was quadriplegic to get her going. So, but you know, so she has some real excuses, but still, she's still working. So, So it's more. I would say, yes, there's a therapy side of it, but it's more coaching and knowing who's in front of you. Like if somebody was the coach, like a football team or something, and then you look at every player. Okay, the quarterback, he has this level of confidence. Hey, the running back has this level of confidence. So just understanding the people you're dealing with, and just knowing that you're dealing with real people. So you know.
So how do you go about like not carrying everybody's weight though? Because like when you're talking to people and you're training them and they tell you about their life, and then you kind of cheer them up, or you help them through their workout. Do you take that home sometimes? Is that something that or you're able to leave it in the gym?
I think I'm able to leave it at the gym. You know, I had an old coach. I was working with him and his wife years ago, and he said when he would coach, he said he would always rub the rail when he left. And so I just got used to rubbing the rail, leaving it at work. Don't bring it home and just freeing yourself.
Okay.
So yeah, and that's probably 90% true. But, you know, 10% you might take home with you because, you know, your people. You know, I'm a people person, so I love people. And, you know, I just hate to see people struggle sometimes. And some people have some real challenges. So, you know.
So let's talk about how you got started then. Like, tell us the origin story. How did you get started? What made you get into this? It's been like over 10 years, right?
Yeah, it's been over a decade, probably close to 14 years. Origin story. Am I the hero or the villain? You know, that makes a lot of difference.
We don't know yet.
You know, so my father died when I was about 16 years old. So, you know, at that point, you know, I was going through a lot of things mentally, physically. Obviously, you know, you lose a parent. So, and that's at that point, a little shortly after that's when I began to work out and work on my body and, you know, personal and professional development, working on my mind. So I would say that's where it started off. And then years later, I got much serious about it. And people were like, hey, you know, do you work with people? And I just knew what it did for me. And so I was like, oh, I could do this for work. And, you know, and this is my passion. So, you know, where your heart is, your treasure will be also. So it's just like, hey, and then I just started helping individuals. So, I mean, that's it.
So for the last 14 years, when did you become like a certified? You're a nationally certified.
Yeah, about 14 years ago.
14 years ago.
14 years ago, yeah.
And you just started. When did you open your gym?
2000. No, I started the business 2015. But I would say, you know, I was doing a lot of in-home stuff, so I was bouncing around to people, bouncing around to people's houses or their workplace if they had a gym, or if they had a gym membership, I would go to them too. I just get a gym membership and then roll right in. But the gym, probably about 2019.
Okay.
2019, yeah.
You're over here on Ingersoll, right behind Noah's Ark.
Right behind Noah's Ark, yeah.
Right.
So you can eat there and then come on over.
Yeah. So I might do that one day.
No, don't do that.
So in your gym, I see like some success stories that you've helped people do some like body transformation.
Yeah.
Is that what you would call it? Like they lose a lot of weight, like a lot of weight loss?
Weight loss, yeah, transformation, yeah.
How do you start that? I mean, you know, people that, you know, we're already self-conscious, right? Like no matter how fit we are. I mean, I have a 6-pack and I still like want an 8-pack. But so we're already like self-conscious. So I'm assuming that somebody that's like overweight, you know, obese, right? Like to a point where they need to, you know, get into the gym. How do you approach that kind of, you know, journey, I guess, with them? Because can you tell us like a little bit about like a story of success and how does that impact you? Because to see somebody go from, you know, one person to basically another, right? Once they reach their goals.
Yeah. I mean, it's really amazing. I mean, it's something that constantly rekindles your love for what you do, because you're seeing people transform their life and you could be a part of their journey. I mean, I think that some of it comes with being, more of a veteran trainer, because you begin to understand different people and their different challenges. So it's just like a doctor in the room, he might have studied it, but till he puts it into practice, it's just a theory. So just dealing with different individuals and you're like, okay, I can begin to better understand what you need. I had one lady, not so much of the transformation, but she was like 80 years old. And she came to me and she wanted to work out. Hey, I want to work out. I think she wanted to walk around Egypt. She was going to Egypt with her daughter. And so she worked out, man. This lady's working out 3 times a week, working out pretty hard too. Challenging, especially for her. And she got to Egypt. She said, I walked around all 2 weeks and it was great. It's the best thing I've done. And then I said, well, how did you end up finding me, She said, well, I was at a conference with my daughter, and the guy was like, put down something that you always want to do. And one of the things she always wanted to do is work out. And then now put down why you didn't do it. Why haven't you done it? So she wrote that down. Okay, now if that wasn't an obstacle, what would you do? And he went on, so forth and so forth. And she said, okay, now if you did find a trainer, what would they be like? X, Y, Z, X, Y, Z. She said, I came home. I think the lady was from California, but she had moved here. And she said, I came home, and the first person I found was you. So, it's just like, hey, once you put it out there, she had that guy eliminated all the obstacles for her. He took away all her excuses, like, why are you not doing it? Because now, then she was able to pinpoint, that's what I'm looking for. So when I went out to look after it, then she found it. So,
So, how do you motivate people then? Because like part of that, or at least that's what people expect, right? Like at least that's what people expect from a trainer.
Yeah.
To like, make me do what I don't want to do.
That's right. Well,
how do you customize?
Well, like her motivation was going on that trip, but I think when you get that, like we talked about earlier, wants show up in consultation, expectations show up in sessions, show up in the action of what you're doing. So during that consultation, you're getting information about the person. You're getting information whether I've tried everything. What have you tried? What is this? X, Y, and Z. Hey, why do you want to do this? And then really going deeper into kind of their mind frame now where it sits. Hey, why do you really want this? Here's a story for you right here. I had a lady, she messaged, I want to look sexy for my divorce. I want him to know what he's missing out on.
Okay.
Right? Which is reactive, right?
Yeah,
you're reacting to a situation. You're I'm going to go look sexy. I'm like, well, that's going to get you started, but it's not going to it's not sustainable, right? Because once you make it to that divorce, you walked in sexy and now what, right? So, but you want to be proactive. So I help people create goals and craft them based off of their real wants and desires by going just levels deep.
What was the other motivation? What other stuff have you heard that is like their motivation? That's like I've never heard about that.
I want to look sexy for my divorce. Yeah, nothing comes to mind right now, but I'd say, if you can think it, I've heard it, so it's pretty much that.
So you do nutrition too, like you talk to people about what they should eat, but I mean that's how is that a hard balancing that, because you're telling people like don't eat this, eat this, or how do you go about that aspect of your like services?
Well, one thing I noticed, like when you just give somebody a plan, they probably won't do it. Hey, here you go. So so understanding, like one thing I'd like to have people do is track on like MyFitnessPal, and then they get an idea, and then I can get an idea, and then I can make suggestions like, hey, you did really good here, let's fill in the blank here. Hey, let's get the macros to here, and that can really help guide people on. But really, because unless somebody's really motivated, they're not going to follow that meal plan. That meal plan, you're going to give it to them, and it's going to end up on the kitchen table, and then it's going to end up in the drawer, and then it's going to end up in the trash. And you say, hey, what happened to that workout I gave you? What happened to that meal plan I gave you? Well, I don't know. So give me another one.
Yeah. So when you have people come to your gym, is there any expectations that you have for them or for yourself, to like goals, I guess? Do you set up goals? Do you have you told somebody I can't help you?
Haven't told somebody again? No, I don't think I've told. Only God can help you, son. So, no, I think, I think, once somebody shares their stuff during, that information getting session, then we try to create a roadmap based off of that. So, if somebody's more, hey, this is what I want, then we focus more on the goals. If this is a different thing that I want, then we might focus more on the journey and making that a habit and seeing what they need. But setting goals and setting a roadmap really gives people sometimes things to look for. Like, I had a lady, I think she said she was going to, she's going out of the country in 3 months, and then her birthday's in six months. So, hey, those are 2 good goals. If she wants to lose 70 pounds. So, hey, in 3 months, where can we get at that point? And then 6 months, where can we get at that point? Yeah. Right. And just keep it simple. Like, if anybody's going to watch this and create some goals for themselves, whether they work with me or not, I would say, how do you eat an elephant? 1 bite at a time. Right. So if I'm saying, hey, we're going to lose 1 pound to 2 pounds a week, in a month, that's 8 pounds. Right. In 6 months, that's 64 pounds, right? No, was that 64? 48 pounds, and then 12 months, that's 96 pounds. So that's a major transformation. I mean, would you think would somebody be happy with that? Yeah. So, just breaking it down like that for them and say, hey, let's look at it realistic. Because sometimes when you look at the big picture, I got a lot of things to do. I got some health concerns, this, hey, some, if a person
unrealistic goals are also bad.
Unrealistic goals, because then you're just going to be running in place and overwhelmed, so. Yeah.
How do you stay, because there's some trendy stuff happens, right? Like every once in a while something pops up, or a specific type of workout is trending, or, tools and stuff like that. How do you kind of keep up, or do you try to keep up with like trends?
Yeah and no. I mean, over time you learn what works, and then you begin to notice things that are kind of like, oh, this is just something that's going on right now, and it probably might go by the wayside. But you do try to stay tapped in. I think the kids say that now, tapped in.
Tapped in. What's trending right now? Like, what's something that you would say, okay, that's a workout, a style of a workout, or a tool that came out that I would recommend people doing? Is there anything that you're seeing in that world?
Trending right now. One thing I like right now is called like, I think it's called like High Rocks or something like that, where they do like a just blend of stuff. It's like kind of like HIIT training like I already do, but it just incorporates a certain set of like 5 exercises. So I really like that. I really vibe in that. And they do like, I think Chicago's going to host the next one where they do like, races with it, where you can go through it. You can get a team, a group of friends, and then each one can do like a leg in this, kind of, I wouldn't say CrossFit, like you're doing the sled like you're doing burpees, okay. So I think that's really cool. I mean, that's one trend that's like, I hope that just catches fire, because it seems well-rounded.
What is it? Calisthenic? Is that one of them that...
The burpees, would be like a calisthenic, jumping up and down. You do a burpee and then do a jump, so...
Because people think that going to the gym, you have to have like all the equipment. You can work out on your own, right?
Yeah.
You think so?
Oh, yeah, no, definitely. Yeah, you can work out on your own. I mean, a lot of people figured that out during COVID. During COVID, when, COVID happened, the COVID years, I was doing like stories of how to work out with, 2 5-gallon jugs. Like I had some Culligan jugs, like, hey, let's do this. You can do curls, you can do squats. There's a lot you can do, because ultimately we're trying to live a better quality of life anyway. So, I mean, and move around in this body. So, of course, you use your body weight, push-ups, squats, pull-ups if you got something to do them on. But another good thing, if even if you don't have a lot of equipment, is something to look at is like a TRX band, because the TRX allows you to do all those movements that might be challenging for you to do. I can do pull-ups. I can put that in the doorway and do some pull-ups and build my back up over time. And then as you adjust your feet or adjust your body, it can get a little bit more challenging, so you can build yourself up to it. So if you do start off by yourself, I think that's the way to do it. Slowly, gradually build yourself up to you, so you're not hurting yourself. Yeah.
How long do you think people should start looking at like their results? Because people want results right away, right?
Yeah.
But like, what's a good timeline for people to be like, this is a fair 5 weeks, 8 weeks, 2 months, or 5? Like, what's a good timeline for you to say, if you do it consistently, a good timeline would be this for you to see your results?
Well, it depends on what results you're trying to see too. So, but I would say, give yourself 90 days. You know, give yourself 90 days. I mean, you're going to see your body begin to change, but really just give yourself 90 days. Say, I'm going to go in and put in the work. You know, we got a society that's one instant gratification. Like, hey, that fast food society. Like, hey, give yourself time. Say, hey, I'm going to go put myself away. I mean, what better time to do it than now, especially when you're here in Iowa, you know, because it's cold. Hey, let me put myself away, and I'm coming out hot in February for my partner. You know, say, you got a surprise, baby.
Yeah. You got a surprise, baby. So when you know, I'm out, go to the gym or like, you know, go for a walk, and I see people like older people, right? Like in their 60s, 70s, and they're walking fast and, you know, doing workout. I realize that this, at some point, this stops becoming about vanity, right? It starts to become more about health.
Yeah.
About actual health. Can you talk a little bit about that? About at some point you have to decide whether you're gonna extend your life or let like your body just kind of. It's about health.
Yeah.
It's no longer about vanity, right?
Yeah, health and wellness, man. No, definitely. You know, I heard a quote. I'm probably gonna butcher it, but it says, "Nobody knows how valuable health is until you're sick." Right, until you lose it, you know. Even though you when you're young, you don't understand it. But I was watching a documentary. No, it wasn't a documentary. It was like a stand up of Jamie Foxx, and it was really powerful because he had a stroke and he was on there, you know, going through it and just like, man, this is like, when you really get over that vanity, you're like, man, I got to be healthy. I got to do this for my wife. I got to do this for my kids. I got to do this for my family. I got to do this for all the people I love. I got to take care of myself, right? Because if there's no me, then, you know,
who's gonna do it?
Who's gonna do it, man?
Yeah.
Who's gonna do it? So yeah, it's just so important. It's real. Like I think when you're young, you know, you want that strength, you know. But then when you get a little older and get a couple gray hairs, you're like, okay, I just want to be healthy. I want to be able to run around. I want to be there when my kids do certain things. So it just comes with maturity and growth, you know, and realizing what's valuable.
Do you have a lot of like men my age that come to you, like in their 40s?
Yeah, I was like, I don't know how old you are. Like, you look young, sir. Yeah, 30, probably 30 to 50 is kind of a good age too. Yeah, you know, I think that age, you know, you probably did a little living, and then, you know, you might have been taking care of the kids and kind of put yourself on the back shelf. So the same thing I just said, like, you're going to push everything to the side, but I'm not really focused on me. I'm not focused on what keeps the ball moving. I'm not focused on getting that oil change. You know, sometimes we need that oil change. Sometimes we got to put that thing on the car and check it out. Say, hey, are you okay? I see the check engine light on. But we've had our body shows us check engine lights as we get to those ages, 30 to 50. Oh man, this is hurting. Hey, this don't feel the same. I'm a lot more tired than I used to. So it's letting us know, hey, you need to do something a little differently because you're demanding a lot from me, but you're not putting anything into me. Yeah.
So what about between men and women? Do you see more men being out of shape or more women? Or that's not even a thing?
Well, I mean, you know, Iowa, I think they had a map that came out, and it was showing like all the morbidly obese states, and then there was like 4 in the South, but Iowa was one of the main ones that was purple. So, I mean, I think you just see a lot of more people out of shape now. Yeah. You know, and then in this modern society, we're just so busy. You know, that's why.
You know where you can see Iowa? At the Iowa State Fair.
I mean, no, straight up, yeah.
Right? I mean, if somebody gets mad, they're getting mad at facts.
Yeah. You're definitely right.
It's like we're
man.
neglecting our bodies, right? Like we neglect our bodies to a point where heart attacks and strokes and I don't know what else, unhealthy
diabetes, you know.
And like if some people are like, oh, you know, I'm getting old, you know, like 39 or 40, you know.
That's not old.
I don't know about that. I don't know about that mentality.
No.
It's BS. So your body at some point starts to talk to you, right? Like it starts to like give you signs.
Yeah. I mean, I can't get up. I can barely get out to bed. I can barely walk up the steps. And it's just like, once again, I mean, like when I go several levels deep in their why, it's like, you know, don't you want to, you not only do you want to be here for your loved ones, but you don't want to be a burden to them either. Like, you know, I mean, it's great. I understand some people have those situations and circumstances. Hey, you got to push the loved one at the fair, but it's like, hey, wouldn't you rather be walking around with them and then not have that too as well, and get good quality years with them, you know? So
did you go to the fair?
Yeah, I went to the fair. Yeah.
Did you see now that they have like a station to rent those cars, those little cars? Did you see that?
No, I didn't see that.
I've been going to the fair for 20-some years. I've been in Iowa since 1995. So, like, I've seen the fair in a lot of different 3 decades, 90s, 2000s, 2010s, and now. And I was like, it's a whole parking, like, there was like 100 of those. So, I don't know where I'm going with this, but I guess what I'm saying is, a lot of people are neglecting their bodies, right?
Yeah.
They're neglecting their health.
Yeah, until it's too late.
Until it's too late.
It's too late. We don't practice preventative health care, right? And that's taking care of ourselves. Like nobody thinks about their health until it's too late. Oh, I'm going to the doctor. You know, and some people, you know, think about what people have told me. Some people, they won't tell me at first, but then, oh yeah, I just want to get in shape. But later I'll come out, oh, I went to the doctor. The numbers were horrible and I got to get it together, you know. It's like I did some blood work. But yeah, we got to practice preventative health care. Hey, what am I doing to take care of myself? What am I doing? Is it just a walk? Is it just hitting my push-ups every day? Yeah. Do something, and it really adds up, yeah.
Do you get people coming in because the doctor said?
Yeah, doctors will suggest some diet and exercise, but
no. But do you get people like coming to like, yeah, I got high cholesterol. I need to bring my cholesterol down.
Yeah, high cholesterol. I'm pre-diabetic. You know, I need to make some changes. I don't know where to start. You know, I think for a long time, like even in our educational system, we'll go through it, and you know, I didn't really realize this till I first started training, you know, because I was getting like doctors and lawyers and working with them. And I'm like, these people don't know anything about nutrition. You know, they really didn't know anything was up. But it's like, oh, they don't really teach that. You know, it's not really taught. It's just, that should be mandatory at every level. You know, like really, like let's go in depth. Let's get a better understanding, because you have to continue to plant those seeds in the mind so we can have a healthier society, you know. So.
What would you tell somebody then that's like, you know, they're like, they know they need to start somewhere, right? Like, and they're very unhealthy, and they know that it's, you know, they got to do something. Because going to a gym with like a bunch of people, that's gotta be like intimidating or even embarrassing, right? Like, that you know, you let yourself go a little bit. What would you tell to somebody that needs to like take that first step?
I would tell them, ain't nobody worried about you. They're worried about themselves.
True.
You know, a lot of times people are just in their head, right? Yes. You know, you making it up. You know, fear is a strange thing, because you just make it all up in your head. Oh, if I go, this person gonna be looking at me. Free yourself from that. Everybody's thinking the same thing. You got that in common. So, you know, or that's one of the reasons why I started the studio, is so I just want people to focus on working out, focus on yourself. Let's just focus on building. We're not focused on, you know, hey, what this person's doing or this person's looking at me. We'll focus on me, because it's like Michael Jackson. I'm staring at the man in the mirror. I'm asking him to make a change.
What if my daughter calls it first character syndrome, or what? Main character. It's called main character. Icky, you're young. What is that called? For main character syndrome? Huh?
Main character syndrome.
Yeah. So main character syndrome is basically, we all think that we are the main character in our lives, right? Like, I am the protagonist of my life. Yeah. I am the main person, and everybody's a role player, right? You are in yours, Aki's in his. So that's good in a way, right? Because like, you should like live your life, your terms. But then I think when in this particular like conversation that we're having, when you walk into a gym, we think that people are thinking about us, but no, they are main characters in their lives. So you're just a role player. So who cares? That's what you're saying, right? Like, nobody's paying attention to you. You just think that somebody's watching.
You're making it up, man. You're just making stuff up, man. Yeah.
And then those are decision drivers, that drives the decision to be like, no, I don't want to go.
And then I won't go. I'll go sit in the parking lot and I'll turn out. You know, it's just like, yeah. I had a girl, she came, she set up an appointment, and then she couldn't find the door. You know how the door's kind of like hidden. But the appointment was at 6. She got there about 5, boom, took off left. So I'm like, I already know what your problem is. Right? I already know what your problem is. I'm going to free you from it right now.
What was her problem?
She looks for any reason to quit. You're looking for that. You're looking for that excuse, right?
Yes.
Wherever you focus, your momentum goes. Your momentum grows. You know, if you focus, then your momentum grows. Whatever. Oh, I'm looking for it anyway. Oh man, I couldn't find the door. Hey, can we reschedule? I want to schedule a different appointment.
I do that. I text you and I'm like, are we down? And hoping that you say no, we're canceled. Then you're like, yes.
You've been pretty good though. You've been pretty good. It's like, you're pretty good.
I'm like, are we still on for today?
You doing all right today?
You're like, yes. I'm like, damn it. Yeah. I was hoping you say no.
It's like that kid in college, like, I hope we don't get the pop quiz today. Right?
Yeah.
But it's coming.
So who motivates you then? Like, who do you look up to? What's some figures that you would say, this is a driving figure for me, or this person, or this historical figure?
I would say Amnir.
Amnir.
You know, I think I draw inspiration off of everybody, man. Just people in general. You know, there's people are so inspiring. You know, whether it's, you know, a client I'm working with, or if I'm seeing something on YouTube, I'm just always inspired about that, because I know life, you know, the Buddhists had to live is to suffer, to survive is to find meaning in the suffering. So, you know, to look at what people go through and what they've been through, and they continue to push on and persevere, and I just draw a lot of energy, and I just think that's the most beautiful thing in the world. So, yeah. So
like your students, your the people that you teach and coach,
just everybody, man. The world is my teacher. You know, I'm always just learning from everybody. You know, I feel like we can learn from each other. Like, you know, when we step into different arenas, like, and we're not playing that main character role, and we can step back and say, well, let me just get the most from the situation. Let me see what I can learn, right? Because let's say, you know, hey, somebody's coming to me for fitness, but you know, they know a lot more about podcasts, and I want to learn about podcasting.
Yeah.
You know, that gives me an opportunity to learn and grow as an individual. So, you know, and that's inspired me. And then I can pass it on. You know, I can pass on that baton. Like, hey, somebody asked me a question, and I can act like I know as much as you.
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
It's like,
so, and you have to kind of like, whoever you're coach, training, to what they're like, you know, the conversations that you're having, or the whatever it is that you guys are talking about, you have to adjust it to who they are, right? Like, you have to kind of like be a chameleon almost.
Yeah,
in a conversation.
You have to be a chameleon, but also, you know, you begin to draw the people unconsciously too as well that, you know, you're meant to work with. You know, so I get a lot of entrepreneurs, you know, leaders, you know, parents, you know, so those things that, you know, that people are doing in life. So it becomes the same mix. So, you know, because those are people that, you know, I can cater to or enjoy working with. And, you know, you find with like entrepreneurs and business owners, you know, they're constantly trying to improve. Yeah. So it's like, hey, and this is what you're doing. You're improving yourself. Hey, I got to work on myself. Hey, I'm burned out, but I know I need to work on my health. So, and they begin to understand that. So you just, you know, yes, you got to be a chameleon, but in one sense, but in another breath, you know, you draw your people, I guess. You know, like,
yeah.
So.
I mean, there's no early hour for you. You start at any time.
I start early. You know, I won't give you a 4 a.m., but 5 a.m. I'll give it to you. You know, so I do like creating a morning routine. You know, I think that's really important to have some type of morning routine. So I try not to start before I can get in my flow of a morning routine. You know, whether that's working out, whether that's reading, whether that's meditating, whether that's spending some time in the sauna with no music, just thinking. You know, we all need that morning routine, because I don't know, there's something magical, spiritual about, you know, waking up early in the morning and, you know, just having it to yourself. You know, I feel like nobody else is tapped in at that time. Like everybody else is asleep, and it's your chance to communicate.
What time do you wake up?
Most of the time I try to wake up about 4 a.m., but it varies, you know. So Yeah, they're very so. Especially in the winter, you know, you go in that deep sleep.
Yeah. The winter is hard, man. It gets hard, and that's why I was like, this might be the best time to talk about fitness, is because this is the hardest time.
This is challenging.
And if you're gonna do it, you might as well start doing it in the hardest part, because the summer is easy.
Yeah.
Or the spring, or whenever the weather's nice and the days are longer, there's more sun. That's a little bit easier.
Yeah.
To do it. So, tell me about the book that you've also been working on.
Book, No Excuse Mindset, Power of Perseverance. It's just a labor of love, man. It's just really kind of like, I had a client years ago tell me, he was seeing I was doing some things. He said, you got a formula. He said, find your formula. So I feel like the book is kind of a formula to, you know, to break free from excuses and breaking those chains from that. And it's dedicated to my baby brother. My baby brother had a tumor when he was 4 years old. He had a brain tumor, which is kind of one of the worst things to have for a kid. So as your body's growing, the tumor's growing too. The surgery was botched. So, you know, it left him fully disabled, blind, deaf, couldn't walk, talk.
Oh, wow.
So, you know, what it really inspired me is one day I was at my mother's house. I'm sitting in the living room. I'm kind of down at the time. I'm, you know, personal training, and, you know, from the outside looking in, it probably looks successful, but I was just like depressed. And then I looked up at him, and remember, he's blind and deaf, but he's just smiling. You know, so, you know, it's like an epiphany moment. It's like, what excuse do I have? Like, this person can't walk, talk, hear, or see, or have the experiences I can have. So I really don't have an excuse not to try to live life to the fullest and see what you can make of this life, you know. And I want others to do the same too, like, you know, because if you're not the best you, then I can't be the best me, you know. What if I'm waiting on you, you know? So hey, let's get it going together.
Yeah. So no excuses.
No excuses.
Meaning just stop making excuses.
No, it means, yeah, stop making excuses, but, you know, confront that. Focus on that excuse. Like, oh, I don't have enough time. Is that really the problem? Could you wake up an hour early and get it in? Right? You're a busy guy, but you say, hey, I don't have enough time. But you say, we figured out a time, didn't we? So boom. So it's really, you know, because some people have some real excuses, but it's saying that my vision, my goal, the way I see myself is way more important than the excuses that I'm gonna make, right? And, you know, so it's whatever excuse that it is, analyze it, right? Yeah.
Don't just, because sometimes it could sound, I think we talked about it earlier, like we could justify ourselves into not doing something.
Yeah.
Whatever it is that is going to be good for you.
Yeah.
Whether it's a project or like working out, or like we can start to make lists of things why not, and then we're like, yep, I'm right, I shouldn't do it.
Yeah.
And then it makes sense because you convince yourself of all those reasons, but they're not reasons, they're excuses.
They're excuses. And we go ahead.
No, I was just going to go back to the book. Like, so it's no excuses. And then what was the second part?
No excuse mindset, the power of perseverance.
The power of perseverance.
Yeah.
We talked about perseverance earlier when we were working out.
Yeah.
And the more I talk to people, the more I listen to, you know, other entrepreneurs or other people that have accomplished anything, or leaders, the word perseverance is always at the forefront. I don't think people talk about that enough, as far as like, if you just keep going, you will get somewhere.
Yeah.
Then if you quit, you're definitely not going to get there.
Yeah.
Can you talk a little bit about the perseverance part?
Well, if there's no challenge, there's no change. You know, that's why I say working out's the best metaphor for life, because when it gets hard, you're really going to see what you're about. You know, you're either going to be refined or you're going to break down. So, you know, you really just got to keep pushing and using those things, using the process that you're going through, this refining process, as your why and your motivation. Because, you know, there's no life without struggle. Everybody has some struggles, some challenges in their life. So, you know, how do I accept that? How do I grow from that? What do I do with that? You know, like both of us, you know, recently, just a month ago, I lost my mother. You know, that's a challenge. You know, how do I use that as motivation to continue to propel myself forward and continue to move to help create that legacy? You know, help, you know, so, yeah.
What's the best advice that you've ever gotten?
The best. I think, you know, I would say that moment with my brother. I mean, although he's deaf and blind, I think that was the best advice.
So
like, it's just like life is not that hard. Like, you got nothing to complain about. I mean, I heard a guy say, you know, you drop your problems down. If everybody had to drop their problems in a pile, and then you came back to pick up your problems, you gonna wish you had your problems because somebody else had told it off with him. So, you know, and that's what that moment was for me too. Is like, oh, he's laughing, he's enjoying himself, he's found joy. But so I think that was probably the most valuable lesson. It's like, hey,
let me see. So okay, so Get It Right is because of your last name. Is Jeremiah Wright.
Yes.
And
it's an acronym too. So.
I have a slogan for you.
All right.
Like, if you're gonna do it, get it right.
It's like, hey, if you're gonna do it, you might as well get it right.
You might as well get it right.
Yeah, no, definitely. And I kind of use that. I use the name as kind of an acronym, even in the book too, to kind of bring you back. It's like, and that's one of the things is, hey, right action. You know. Because sometimes we're taking action, but we're just running in place. Oh, boom, boom, boom. You're not doing anything. You're just running in place.
Yeah.
You know, so what does that right action look like? So, yeah, we use that as kind of an acronym and just break it down. So, yeah.
So, okay, so let's leave with like a good workout that you can tell somebody, hey, you can't, you're at home and you can't get to a gym yet. You still haven't made up your mind. But you can do this at home. Like, what's a quick workout that they can do
A quick workout they can do?
Yeah.
I would say, so I would try to find something total body. So I would say burpees. So give yourself some burpees or some squat jumps if you need a regression. Do some side lunges to kind of catch your breath from those burpees or squat jumps. And then push-ups, alternating lunges, and a plank. There you go, 5 exercises, and do that. Try to start yourself off with 30 seconds, and then progress yourself. If you know that's a little bit easy, go to 45 seconds, go to 60 seconds, and do it anywhere between 5 to 10 rounds, depending on what level you're at.
5 to 10 rounds.
5 to 10 rounds, whatever level.
I'm at 3 rounds, so I still got a long way to go.
You're at the 3-round structure, but I think you could do more than 3 rounds.
Yeah.
So,
but when I first started working out with you, you were saying that like sometimes working out and like building your body is somewhat of an illusion. I don't know if I'm wording it right, but because like, you know, you asked me like, what is your goals? Like, what do you want to do? And then you started showing me some workouts that were very specific, like isolating one muscle. Do you remember that, or like what does that mean when like to work out? Because people think that they just gotta run, they just gotta do like, but you can do specific stuff, right? You can do specific things to impact your body differently.
Yeah, you can definitely isolate, kind of depending on what your goals are too. I do like a total body plan a little bit better, but as far as the illusion, I think what I was telling you about is, you know, we're not bodybuilders, but we're just building up our body. So, and understanding that, you know, a guy might come in, I want some bigger arms, right? So bicep curls, bi means 2, so you have 2, but then the tricep means 3, so the tricep has 3 heads. So, you know, working that tricep is going to begin to make your arm look bigger. Also, you know, working your back and your lats, now your arms are sitting on your lats, so it makes your arm look bigger. So it becomes an illusion, so you even look stronger. So, because some of us, you know, it's good people want to look good, they want to feel good. If you look good, you feel good, right?
Yeah,
you say, hey, boom. So, and I think that's what I was talking about there.
Yeah. So it's not just do whatever. It's like that's part of, I guess, you being like certified. Like, you know what you have to do with somebody's body, because somebody's body might be different than the other body, right? That the next hour. So.
Oh yeah, so there might be some muscle imbalances or something that's have been created over time. Because a lot of times what happens when people come in, they're like, "Oh, I'm completely healthy, nothing wrong with me." Then 3-4 sessions in, oh yeah, I forgot. When I was in kindergarten, I fell down and broke my ankle, or when I played football or something, I hurt my knee. So, and the reason why I say that is because you'll go through life and you'll kind of forget about that, but your body takes the path of least resistance. So you might have created some muscle imbalances. So when you do start working out, you might have some injuries down the road, because there are those muscle imbalances. So everybody's just different in that sense too as well. So
what about people that need to gain weight? Isn't like there's people that are like cannot gain weight, they're just super thin and skinny, right?
Yeah, I'm working those too. Yeah,
but but how do you approach that, like with people that like need to gain weight because they just can't,
finding the problem, so it might be, hey, I'm not getting enough calories. Hey, I have a fast metabolism, that workout style might be very different than somebody that's trying to lose weight, where somebody wants to lose weight, be thin, we might be doing more HIIT stuff. Where somebody that, hey, I'm trying to build some lean muscle, we might stay a little lower reps and just kind of try to build up some more muscle there, so it's just looking at it. So
you just like take it slower then, or like more muscle focus? Then cardio, no cardio.
Yeah, you want to kind of stay up because they're trying to put on size, so you want to stay away from too much cardio. So yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of who you're talking about too, but you don't have to go there. Yeah.
But no, I guess I was trying to highlight how it's not just body weight loss. It's also some people also have a problem of like, I can't keep weight on.
Yeah, I can't keep weight on. Some people just have a problem. Hey, I just want to look and feel a little bit better. So it's not, hey, it's not a goal target as a weight, or it's not losing weight. Our goal target is gaining weight, but more so, hey, I just want to look better. Everybody's different. That's why health and wellness is so unique, and it's unique to you. But making sure you're doing something to get towards whatever that good vision of yourself is. So, and that's all I'm there to assist on the journey.
One more question: what is your life motto?
No excuse mindset.
No excuse mindset.
No excuse mindset. I would say
books are in store now.
Yeah, books in store. You can go to the website. There's some
what is your
links
website?
GETITWRIGHTFitness.com. And I think that there is a link up for the pre-order the book. Hopefully early 2025. And I always say too. I say if you're living, you have the opportunity to learn, and if you're learning, there's a transformation waiting for you. Like if you're willing to learn, there's a transformation waiting for you. So if we're students, because one thing I will say is the same thing that kind of brought us to a point won't take us to the next point sometime. So and we know that with business, like, oh, I got here, I was motivated to start. Now I got to learn a whole new set of things to get across the river. So just always be a student of life and continue to learn, and then that's where that transformation come in.
And one action at a time.
Execution is the only solution.
Yeah.
So there you go. I gave you a couple good quotes.
One of the reasons why I like working out with you is because every session is like another podcast. We could just put a mic on and we could probably have a podcast.
We should.
Because we go off.
Yeah. It's some good jewels. Yeah, I get a lot of good. Yeah.
And I think ultimately, working out. So this is what I found out working out with you is that it is healthy because it's for the body, and you sweat and you start to see your body change a little bit. But it's also when I walk out of there, it's like this. I get to talk to you and probably leave some of my headaches and my heartaches with you.
Your wisdom.
Yeah. So there's like there's a refreshing when I walk out. Like my body's ready to go, and then my mind is also kind of cleared up a little bit. So
that's awesome.
So I appreciate it. They can find you Jeremiah Wright.
Yeah, on LinkedIn, and then
LinkedIn.
Get It Right Fitness across the board on social media platforms with the W.
GETITWRIGHT Fitness.com.
GETITWRIGHTFitness.com. Yeah.
You got merch there.
You got merch? Yeah, get you some merch. Get you
Yeah,
some merch.
yeah.
If you can't come in, get you some merch.
Yeah.
You say if you can't buy it, like the post, share the post.
Yes,
You know,
yes.
like so. Support good people doing good things. So, and I appreciate you having me, man. This is fun.
Awesome, man. Well, thank you for coming. We finally made it happen. We're going to share this so people can start getting motivated to get into the gym and start the year strong.
All right.
All right, man. Thank you for coming. And we'll see everybody next time.